Oh, hello. Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Project Dreamboat. I'm Dave, and I'm going to be taking you through another wonderful season of great builds and some awesome excitement on the water. Stay tuned.
Today on Florida Sportsman Project Dreamboat, the crew at Marine Customs Unlimited is back in action on Tyler Gorman's 32-foot Seacraft project. But custom doesn't always come easy.
We've done like 5 of these boats. I know the engines need to go higher, so I'm going to direct them to do what the boss says needs to be done.
Florida Sportsman boating editor George LaBonte joins Dreamboat builder Mark Jachelski aboard his fully restored classic 25-foot Sea Vee for a day of fishing the reefs in offshore waters of the Florida Keys.
For a 23-year-old guy to take on a job like this and do the quality of work that he did is absolutely impressive.
An unexpected request on the 32-foot Seacraft is answered by the experts at Open Water Concepts.
The Caribbean blue, which is the one that we used on that boat, matched it really well. I think it made it pop.
All coming up on Florida Sportsman Project Dreamboat. Last season on Florida Sportsman Project Dreamboat, Brian O'Donnell and his crew at MCU took on the task of transforming Tyler Gorman's tired 32-foot Seacraft into a modern boating and fishing machine. An extensive list of modifications included closing in the transom for safety and adding a large oval live well at the stern for fishing, dropping in a new higher capacity fuel tank for long-range offshore trips, building in a ladder that deploys at the bow for when at the sandbar, cutting out a dive door for easy access in and out of the water, adding a bow thruster for more controlled docking, and custom building a bow seating area for comfort and additional storage. With the boat taking on a new form, the paint and body crew was tasked with blending all the custom fiberglass work, and Tyler desired a perfect fit and finish. Endless hours of fairing and sanding, multiple layers of primer, and a fresh top coat of all-grip paint inside and out gave the boat a brand new look and feel. With the major structural and cosmetic work complete, the Seacraft entered the rigging portion of the build. With the stern fully enclosed, a custom engine bracket from Armstrong Nautical Products was ordered, painted blue tone white to match the hull, and bolted onto the transom. This crucial modification eliminates water from entering the boat at the transom, while increasing performance and fuel efficiency, taking a proven hull design and making it even better. With the delivery of 2 new Yamaha 300 horsepower outboards, the demands of the build seem to be narrowing.
All right, so we're getting back to Tyler's 32 Seacraft. I was just talking to him on the phone. He's getting really anxious. He's excited. He was checking the boat out the other day. He saw some of these custom modifications getting completed. I mean, this rear door in the back that opens up to the side, the forward ladder that comes out of the bow of the boat, it really looks awesome. I mean, now that's in finished paint, he wants to get out to the sandbar. I can't blame him. He's been telling me how excited James is to go swimming and to be able to get in and out of the boat from the bow. I can't wait to see him on the thing, enjoying it. So this isn't the first 32 Seacraft that I've done with a closed transom and an Armstrong bracket on the back, but it will be the first one with the 4.2 liter 300 Yamahas. I have yet to rig those motors on a boat and just not see incredible numbers on performance. Whether it's the fuel burn, the top end speed, the whole shot, I mean, those motors, they are completely across the board, probably the best motors out there for weight, balance, horsepower. I'm excited to see this boat out on the water, probably a little more than Tyler is.
When we return, Brian and the crew at MCU work to add some much needed power to the 32-foot Seacraft project. This segment brought to you by Armstrong Nautical Products, celebrating 25 years of creativity and innovation.
Do you have the Armstrong advantage? In its most basic form, an Armstrong outboard bracket improves the efficiency of your outboard motor. This equates to a faster time to plane and higher top speeds. The list of advantages continue with improved maneuverability, added space, and a quieter ride. Adding a swim platform, accompanied by an Armstrong boarding ladder, will certainly add to your day out on the water. Isn't it time for you to gain the Armstrong advantage?
Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Project Dreamboat. Join us as Brian and the crew at MCU work together to add some horsepower to the 32-foot Seacraft project.
All right, so the guys are out there right now uncrating those engines. I'm gonna go out back, give them a hand. We're gonna get them set on the back of the boat.
We're trying to figure out the setting the height of the engines on Tyler Gorman's boat. But according to the formula, if we put them at a certain height, we're gonna be a little low. If we're too high, we're gonna be spraying, you know, all that kind of stuff. So we kind of had to play it by ear. Me and Steve here, we had it figured out. We had it dialed in until Brian came out.
So we should be good in this hole here then.
No, you're gonna be in that hole.
You gonna go up that high with it?
Well, we're probably gonna end up here. So for whatever reason, my guys can't seem to remember, we've done like 5 of these boats. I've got a real good idea where the engines need to go. There's been so much weight added to this boat, I don't see any reason why I can't go all the way up to minimize my drag and help the top end speed. I can run a little taller prop, get a little more RPM out of it, and I might have some better fuel burn. If I cavitate a little, I just gotta drop the motor down. It's not the end of the world.
All right, let's take a measurement.
What are you saying?
This is the hole you wanted to go for, right? That's where I have it lined up right now. We'll take a measurement.
No, that's the one you wanted. I wanted to go up higher.
I figured we needed to be the 3rd hole up, and then of course Brian come out and said no, he wanted them all the way up. You know, he's the boss, so he knows it.
He's got a good eye, so.
So he's
Usually, right. I'll take a shot. I mean, I think it's going to have a better hole shot and top end. I mean, that's my
I
opinion.
agree with that.
Just Yamaha's engineering. I mean, they just got that down pat. That new 4.2 is just a beast. You know, they got it geared right. They got it built right. It's light. I mean,
Throttle response is real good.
There's no playing around. I definitely expect it to be
fuel economy,
better.
I think, is better on it too.
Despite all the shenanigans and the mistakes and the mishaps, we got the engines on the back without a hitch. Everything's ready to rock and roll. I'm excited to see how these engines run on the back of this boat. So I've done a lot of dash panels over the years. I've never done one where the name of the boat just popped out at you. This boat's got so many nighttime features with all the custom color lighting and everything. I thought it'd be really cool to see where you light up the dash and it just comes out at you. So we've never really done this before, but I've got a real good idea how I'm gonna do it.
We decided to go with clear because we're gonna paint it and see what it looks like, you know, because it'll match the boat color-wise and whatnot instead of being black or white acrylic. And then we had an idea about throwing the sticker back there on the backside before we painted it. You know, we sanded it and gave it a little frost look, kind of hoping that maybe if we throw an LED back there, it'll, you know, give it a nice glow when he kicks on all those other accent lights and stuff. You know, something we don't normally do, and just trying to make it pop a little bit, you know.
Brian and Dave brought me the dash panel for the 32 Seacraft that they finished routing out. So what we decided to do is spray the backside of the panel blue tone white to match the hull of the boat. That panel is kind of tailored to the boat, so it's gonna be a one-off piece and it's gonna look really, really cool.
So now that the paint's been done on the acrylic dash panel, I was able to peel back the vinyl decals that were covering up the frosted acrylic and see it for the first time finished and completed. And as I thought, it looks incredible. It looks awesome. This boat came out so clean and crisp. Between the color combination, the hardware, I didn't want to stop inside the console. I made a decision to build a white starboard bulkhead wall with a removable hatch. We're going to be able to mount the battery switches in there. It's going to be simple, it's going to be clean. It's going to give you plenty of access inside the console to get work done.
Brian drew me a sketch and said, Dave, make this out of 1/2 inch starboard, etc. And I said, okay. Went off of how we drew it, spent a couple hours on it, went out to install it, and soon realized the measurements were reversed, or however. The panel should have been so much this tall and so much this wide, and the layout should have been a certain way, and well, it was kind of flipped on its side. I was freaked out. I thought it was my fault. And somebody else that worked here was able to bring me aside and be like, no, let's look at your drawing. So we looked at the drawing and realized it wasn't this guy. It was Brian.
He thinks I made a mistake. I don't think I made a mistake. At the end of the day, I'm the boss. I don't make mistakes. Dave must have cut this thing wrong. He must have measured something wrong. And that's why he's flustered.
He had it drawn wrong. That's all it really was.
So after going through a 1/2 sheet of starboard for that little bulkhead that we had to do inside the Seacraft, it's finally completed. But it looks really good.
I still got flack for wasted material, but like I said, I think when we do stuff like that, you go to boat shows and you see these real big expensive boats, and just gives you that finished look, man. I mean, you're not gonna get that in a little boat. You know, you open it up, that's nice. I mean, it's clean. I don't know, it just looks pro. I mean, that's what we do, just make it pro.
When we return, FS Boating editor George LaBonte hops aboard Mark Jachelski's fully restored 25-foot Sea Vee in this week's One Man's Dreamboat segment. This segment brought to you by Fiberglass Florida. Premium products, wholesale prices.
Fiberglass Florida is a locally owned and operated company with locations in Rockledge and Stuart, Florida. Our knowledgeable staff will help you select from our diverse selection of fiberglass materials by the yard or by the roll. Epoxy, vinyl ester, and polyester resin, as well as high-density core materials. All grip paint in unlimited custom colors. Home to Open Water Concepts, a certified sea deck fabricator specializing in fully customizable kits to suit your project needs. Fiberglass Florida. Premium products, wholesale prices.
Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Project Dreamboat. Join us for this week's One Man's Dreamboat segment with Florida Sportsman Boating editor George LaBonte, as we feature anglers who have already launched their dream. Florida Sportsman began these features 30 years ago, and the dreams just keep getting better.
This week, we head down to Summerlin Key to meet 23-year-old Mark Jachelski. Mark took an 80s vintage classic Key West guide boat, 25-foot Sea Vee, and turned an absolute wreck of a boat into an absolute showpiece. We're really looking forward to seeing this boat. We've seen pictures of it in the before and after, and really excited to see how it turned out and to get to go out and spend a day on the water with him. Well, Mark, we got a beautiful day here, man. I'm really looking forward to seeing what your boat will do. You've done a great job on it. Tell me a little bit about, this is a 25-foot Sea Vee. You always wanted to have one?
I knew I wanted a 25 Sea Vee. Yeah, I've always been interested in them. They've always been older, you know, so I kind of realized I was going to have to rebuild one when I got it.
Yep.
And I did. I found this one actually in Key West a couple years ago. You know, you couldn't really drive on it. There was so many soft spots, and everything was flaking. The paint was flaking.
Just showing its age. I mean,
It was
lack
showing
of
its age,
care.
for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Growing up in Summerlin Key, Mark idolized the Key West fishing guides and their style of boat. For a 23-year-old guy to take on a job like this and do the quality of work that he did is absolutely impressive. Well, we're down here in Summerlin Key. We're gonna go fish your boat on the ocean side out of Summerlin Key here.
Catch some fish, yeah.
Tell me a little bit about what kind of fishing you like to do, man. I mean, you built this boat for a purpose. What do? You like to fish? You like to dive? I mean, is there any kind of certain type of fishing that you like more than another? And
I like it all, man. You know, you live by the water, you try to dabble in a little bit of everything.
Sure.
You know, I really love spearfishing. That's my passion, you know, being underwater and you know, shooting fish. You know, meat fishing, obviously. You know, you live in the Keys, you gotta have fresh fish.
You gotta go do a little snapper fishing.
You gotta have some
You gotta bring some fillets home for mom, too, I know.
Absolutely, gotta make mom happy.
What do you say we do
I
something
guess-
to remedy that situation?
I guess we gotta go do that. Absolutely, man.
All right, man, it's on you. The
All
pressure's
right.
on.
Let's do it.
Okay, man. As soon as we got underway on this boat, I was immediately brought back to the 80s. I haven't ridden on this boat for a long time, one like it, and this boat rode exactly like I remember, and it was easy to see why Mark decided to redo her. Mark set this boat up to do the thing he loves best, and that's bottom fishing. The boat performed great in the bottom fishing arena. He really knows what he's doing. He brought us to one of his honey holes, and we got on some nice mutton snapper almost immediately. Mark is also an avid diver, so we took a little bit of time out of the day to visit American Shoals Light and let him get in the water and swim around. It's a beautiful spot. At the end of the day, we got done with all our fishing and diving business, and I had a chance to sit with Mark and really go over some of the finer details of the build. Really impressed with the boat, Mark. Why don't you tell me a little bit about, while we're sitting here and it's really peaceful, why don't you tell me a little bit about the whole process? I mean, you started from scratch, basically. You took this boat down to the bare hull, essentially, and built it back from the bottom up. Tell me a little bit about that process.
Yeah, that's correct. I did. I stripped everything off the boat from start to finish. I started with all the engines, the console, all of that, and then I went in and I stripped the entire deck out. And I got through the deck and I realized there was some stringer rot, so I decided to take all the stringers out. And I just started one at a time. I put one stringer in, I put the other stringer in, and after all the under the floor stuff was done, then I went straight into, you know, putting the deck back on, and that was that was probably the hardest part, was putting the deck on, because it had to be all level and everything had to be perfect, and just the whole experience was a big learning curve. So,
you know, a lot of people are intimidated by two-part paint, and you know, but you went right into it and you shot the whole thing. I mean, it's professional finish.
Thank you. Yeah, the only way to do something really is just to do it. It's all grip. Everything on the boat is all gripped, and it would probably, the longest process on the boat was the finish work. I wanted it to be perfect. I wanted it to look like it came from the factory. And I think that I achieved that, hopefully.
You definitely did. No, you did. Also, your live well, you've got a great little setup in the live well too, and I know that was kind of problematic. You've got a little port there with vent with a bunch of holes drilled to kind of diffuse the water going into there.
Yeah, that helps. You know, keep the water fresh and keep all the bait from getting sucked out of the drain holes, which you know, you don't want to be losing
especially
your bait.
with all the little pilchers and stuff that you use down here too.
Yeah, that was a task to do.
A lot of drilling.
A lot of drilling.
How many holes do we estimate?
I thought we were about 3 billion.
Between 3 and 4 billion.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
You know. But it's great. It's great.
Oh, it worked great today.
Yes, it did. Yeah, we got some nice fish, didn't we?
Yes. Well, some of us did. I don't know.
Yeah.
Somebody hogged all the chum balls.
I don't know who that was.
And you laid the deck out nice. I mean, you've got tons of storage here. I mean, there's a huge fish box, storage boxes everywhere. All your hatches are perfect. And I mean, you've just got it laid out really thoughtfully for what we did today and for what you obviously like to do fishing-wise.
Yes, sir. It helps a lot. It really does.
Take me to the back of the boat there. You've got the shroud that's classic Key West guide style. You got a shroud over your motor that you also use for a cutting surface when you're bait fishing and bottom fishing too. That's real handy.
Yeah, that's a classic old Key West style, and I repainted that, and I got a new cutting board for it, and it works out great. I mean, we used it today a lot. You know, it made cutting bait and
absolutely,
you know, chunking all that much easier. And
right,
it's all about making it easy.
Yep. And also making things easy. You also added a swim ladder. You do jump in the water a lot. You probably dive as much or more than you fish too, don't you?
Yeah, I have a swim ladder sitting on the back. It's actually it's a swing ladder, so you can keep it in the up position. And when you want to use it, all you have to do is pull it up and then drop it. And you know, Armstrong made a great product there. You know, a boat never really is done.
Of course.
It never really is done. You keep adding on to it and adding on to it. And you know, I put the LEDs in. I keep putting rod holders in every other week. You know, I put some speakers in. I put some subwoofers in. I found this cool website called Boat Outfitters, and I got all of the stuff I knew I was gonna want. You know, while I was fishing, while I was diving, that was just gonna make my life a whole lot easier. I mean, I got leader holders, plier holders, that cutting table, and it's cool seeing it all come together slowly over time, you know.
Yeah.
And it's really been looking good.
Listen, man, I've had a great time with you today. I hope you'll invite me to come back and fish with you some other time.
Oh man, I'd be offended if you didn't.
Thanks so much, man.
Thank you.
Great job with the boat.
Thank you.
With an initial purchase cost of $3,000, after spending $65,000 in repairs and custom modifications, the cost of Mark's Dreamboat comes to a total of $68,000. When we come back, Brian at MCU gets a last-minute request from boat owner Tyler Gorman as the crew works to complete his 32-foot Seacraft project. This segment brought to you by Yamaha. Reliability starts here.
At Yamaha, reliability is a family tradition. Meet the next generation. 4 new advanced technology-inspired inline 4-cylinder performers. Bred from the reliability and boater satisfaction that is part of Yamaha's DNA. They prove that when power gets lighter, faster, stronger, and smarter, boating gets even better. And more satisfying for boaters like you.
Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Project Dreamboat. Join us as the crew at MCU works to put the finishing touches on the 32-foot Seacraft project.
We're making a switch panel for Tyler Seacraft. We wanted something really different, something that is really gonna, you know, bring attention to the boat. But we wanted the name of the boat on the panel, and we really wanted that to light up. So we put lighting behind it. And on the first go around, it didn't work out that well because you've seen bright spots and dim spots in the name.
And we're trying to figure out how can we just make it look solid, you know, an even glow. So it came up with an idea is we took another piece of clear acrylic, or I sanded the face and left the edge polished, and we kind of encapsulated the LED around it. So what that LED did now is I made a huge LED panel, so to speak. There's a nice even glow. So when that went mounted behind there and it lit, it put out an even light because the LED strips a bunch of individual LED bulbs. So this is a little bright here, little dim, little bright, and that gives you that, it's not even an even glow. So by doing that, making that piece, we came up with it, man, it was money.
I mean, it lights up beautiful. We were shocked at how well this really turned out, and I liked it, Brian liked it, and Dave loved it.
I think when the customer sees it, he's gonna be, wow, because I don't think he was expecting that.
It just blows up right in your face. It looks incredible. I'm kind of excited to see how Tyler's gonna react to it. I don't think he has any idea what this dash panel is gonna look like. All right, right when you think you're complete, the customer gives you the phone call and tells you about this next great idea. So now he wants to implement a little sea deck on the boat. So I'm gonna call Danny over at Open Water Concepts, get over here, do some measurements, and get my sea deck cut.
Brian contacted me asking to do some sea deck pads on the stepping out boat that they were working on. When he calls the world's on fire, you know, we got to push jobs through for him, but he's a really good customer of ours. We like working with him. So we kind of went over the graphics and the different logos that he wanted to do, and then came back here. We worked on the CAD work and then threw it on the CNC machine and got it cut. It really helps to customize some of these pads. You know, a lot of guys, they like having their boat name on there, and everything is cut on the CNC machine, so it's perfect. Whatever we plug in there, it just cuts it all by itself. On the console top there, he had some fiberglass work that he had to hide, and that's a good use for a sea deck. You know, it hides that, and also you can throw your cell phone up there so it doesn't slide around while you're running. And then the toe pad that we did, we were able to put the logo, the stepping out logo in there. And then obviously the helm pad is anti-fatigue. You're not gonna slip on it. And those long days while you're out there, you know, bouncing off the waves, it gives you a little extra cushion while you're running. The Caribbean blue, which is the one that we used on that boat, matched it really well. And the cool gray was kind of subtle. I think it made it pop.
Just as I thought, Danny got the thing wrapped up pretty fast for me, and he was able to match the colors on the boat really close. Tyler's gonna love it. I had Danny throw my company logo up on top of the console. Looks pretty awesome. So that's it, we're done. It's wrapped up, it's completed, it's finished. I need to put it in water, take it for a sea trial. I'm gonna go put it on my boat lift, and I'm gonna have Robbie go give it a cleaning.
Next week on Florida Sportsman Project Dreamboat, the crew at MCU prepares the 32-foot Seacraft for its unveiling to owner Tyler Gorman. FS Boating editor George LaBonte joins Dreamboat builder Jimmy Oriole aboard his completely restored 1979 Banana River skiff for a day of sight fishing in Stuart, Florida. And we meet with the owner of a classic Boston whaler, Outrage, who is looking to have MCU perform a complete overhaul. Next time on Florida Sportsman Project Dreamboat.